Record. I think we're recording. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to everybody. I am. You're supposed to just like say I'm happy to introduce the people speaking up, but I'm actually am. I think this is a really cool thing that our seniors are doing for us. So please go ahead and make use of them and their time. I know that they have all been accepted to fantabulous colleges and universities, and I, before they even start, want to thank them for their time in with us and sharing us with their wisdom, if you will. And without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Sandy.
Hello, guys.
I'm ready to mingle. Okay, go.
Hello, guys. My name is Sandy, and so the story starts with beginning to think about college. I first thought about going to college, obviously, when I was very little. I'm a first-generation student. My mom only has an associate's, and my dad, he only finished high school. So I've always known I wanted to go to a four-year college right after high school, and I took a couple college trips with AVID, and I've also done college trips with College Club. So by the time of the end of my junior year, I was set on applying to UCLA, UCI, San Diego State, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State LA, and Cal State Fullerton. My top two were definitely UCI and San Diego State. The only thing that I wanted was to raise my SAT score because at the time it was at an 1170. And I was thinking to myself, I'm never going to get into those top schools with only an 1170. I need to raise it. So when I began my senior year, I still held on to that same plan. And I was a little worried about the colleges I was applying to and whether I would get in or not, but I was still like ready to apply. The September year of my senior year, I got the chance to speak to a GCU counselor when she came into my AVID class, and that was when I was hooked. All she had to say was that the nursing program is 3 years. It's a fast track program. They give you scholarships based on your GPA, and basically that GCU has not raised their tuition in over a decade. So that's when I began speaking to that counselor way more. And I was thinking about it a little bit, but I wasn't too sure about it because I know that I'm an emotional person and I'm very connected to my family. So by that time I was like, okay, now it's time to get this SAT score up. That's when I took my SAT October of that year, and I was able to raise it to 1220. But the thing about that was it made me a little bit more confident, but that's when I started thinking maybe I'll get in finally. But I still had my insecurities, and I was kind of thinking that maybe I will get in, maybe I won't. Either way, I'll still be applying. So that's when applying came, and so I had to start filling out the applications, and I decided not to apply to any of the UCs, and I only ended up applying to 2 Cal States, which was Cal State LA and San Diego State. This was only because it was a mix of emotions from thinking that it would be too much of a financial burden because I did have to pay for each one of them. And I began thinking about maybe I will end up going to GCU. So at this time, it was in November when I had a conference with my parent and the GCU counselor. And honestly, I felt like maybe I should just register there and keep going. So by the end of December, I registered without even knowing how the college was. Like, I've never visited. And I was very regretful of only applying to 2 colleges in California. So by the end of the year, I was set. And in January of this year, I visited GCU for the first time and I fell in love with it. Everything about it, the school was super safe. It was a religious community. And I definitely felt like I made the right choice in registering. So in March, I was notified of my acceptance to Cal State LA and denied to San Diego State. But at this time, I really didn't care because I knew that I'd be going to GCU for sure. So currently, I am in communication with my future roommates, and I have already set my financial part of college up. And now I'm just waiting to move in August. So that's my story.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Maria. So this fall I will be attending Cal State Fullerton. I'm gonna, I guess I'll start from freshman year. So I really never had an exact clue of what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. And I decided to join like a bunch of clubs and different like programs in my school to get a feel for everything. So I joined like leadership, I did health careers, and I was in all these clubs. And for me, it was always choosing between if I wanted to go into health care or if I wanted to go into like politics. So my junior year, I joined this program at the YMCA called Youth in Government, and it's pretty much a mock trial of like the actual government system we do, just with a bunch of teens. And I kind of found out there that politics wasn't really for me. And in my senior year, I did an internship with the Health Careers Academy for sports medicine. And that's when I really like fell in love with biology and just how you help people. So that's kind of how I declared my major. I applied to about 7 different schools. I pretty much got denied from 2. And then from there, that's kind of where I decided I wanted to go to Cal State Fullerton because it was far enough from home, but close enough to where I can like visit. The financial aid I got was going to pay all my tuition, all my books. The only thing I would have to pay was room and board. And then it was just kind of like my second choice, but my first choice was actually USC. And then when I opened my decision letter, I got denied and I did not read the whole letter. So keep that in mind. And so I appealed their decision to deny me. So that pretty much means you kind of like get more information about yourself and be like, no, you need to accept me. And the appeal didn't go through, but in the email from the admission counselor, the lady was like, she's like, please read your full email from your original denial letter. So I was like, okay. So I read the whole thing and I actually got accepted into their transfer program. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this. Like I had this since like, I don't even remember when the acceptance or decisions came out. So pretty much my plan is to do 1 year at Fullerton and then I'll transfer sophomore year into USC. I think a majority of it had to do with my GPA. I had a 4.4 weighted GPA. I took APs and honors, and I had a lot of extracurriculars, but my SAT scores were not good. It's really embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell you guys anyways. I got a 950, like that was my highest. So yeah, it was super bad, and you can even look at Frakes. But I think definitely just having the extra stuff like my GPA and my extracurriculars were really a benefit to me. So if you guys don't have a high SAT, just make sure that you're keeping up with your grades and your clubs. And yeah, that's pretty much all. So.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. My name is Samuel, and I'm going to be attending Fresno State this fall. And my story basically starts in middle school, where that's when I first started thinking about going to college. I had my mindset on UCLA, but once I entered high school, my grades didn't like really matter to me. I got a mix between like A's, B's, and C's. Sophomore year was when I actually started doing better. I started trying to keep my grades up. Junior year, I had all A's and just one B, so I felt pretty proud of that because like the past years I hadn't been able to do that. Um, so starting the whole application process, senior year was it was somewhat stressful because the PAQs, as you guys already know, you guys had to choose the 4 questions and they have to be 250 to 350 words. So all of that was like building up and making it more stressful. Other apart from the whole application process with taxes, personal information. Um, I didn't really stress out as much because my junior year I started writing down which questions I was going to work on, and I started writing down ideas of what would work and what wasn't going to work. Um, so I felt stressed throughout the whole process, but also relieved because I was getting them done and I wouldn't have to worry about them after that. My top 2 schools were UCLA and Fresno State. I have a 4.1 GPA, a 1070 SAT, which isn't the best, but it's not the worst. Sadly, I was denied to UCLA, which was my top school, but I was excited at the same time because I would be attending Fresno State. I applied to 10 schools. I was accepted into 6. I was waitlisted for 2, and I was denied for 2, which was UCLA and Berkeley. Which I mean, I feel pretty proud about because to be accepted by 6 universities is it's a big deal. Um, Going deeper into the whole process, I just want to say that like I don't come from a wealthy family, and I'm not the brightest kid in the class. I honestly didn't care about what anyone else thought about me in school. I did my work. I finished assignments on time. I was always on top of things. I did procrastinate a lot, which I know like many of you guys do, but I always got things done when they needed to get done. Um, the reason I want to go to college is to give myself and my parents a better life, which I know many of you guys think the same way. Um, like my parents, they actually didn't finish high school, so just to say that I graduated is already a big accomplishment because they weren't able to do that. And this just pushes me to be way better than them. I don't want to be working out in the hot sun like my dad does because I've experienced it. I've worked with him for about 3 years, and I made it to where I am now because I pushed myself. I wanted to better myself, and also because I've had many people in my life who have doubted me and who said that I wouldn't get anywhere in my life. Um, I mean, this whole application process, it just changes your life because you're doing this for yourself and you're doing this to make your parents proud. This is your future we're talking about. And just real quick, just like don't give up and keep pushing yourself for what you guys want in your life. And that's my story.
So while we wait for her to come back, can we get someone to jump on and she can come in next?
I'll go.
Sweet.
Okay, so we'll start freshman year. We'll start with my mistakes. I felt like I didn't take any honors or AP classes in my freshman year. I took every basic class and I got through every single class without even trying, like at all. Like I didn't even like lift an arm to get an A in the class. Like it was so easy. So I was like, okay, we'll try with the honors in the AP. So going on to my sophomore and junior year, I started taking honors and AP classes, and I started jumping into like more extracurriculars and doing other stuff outside of like like school out of classes, because I then like sophomore year I knew that I wanted to go to college. I wasn't sure before then, which is why I didn't take my freshman year very seriously. So my sophomore and my junior years were definitely my hardest years in high school. I did absolutely everything that I could to get that like competitive basically resume and application. So I took a bunch of AP honors courses. I took what is it called, zero periods. I took classes after school. I did softball year round. I had an internship at a dentist for a year and a half, and then I worked 2 jobs. So I did a lot in high school. I did a crazy amount. So I feel like that kind of got me competitive. But then going into my senior year, I definitely slacked like crazy. Like that senioritis really, really, really kicked in. And I was still doing like the same amount. Not really. I kind of took like less rigorous classes, still some AP. But I definitely slacked, which I kind of want to give you guys some advice. Don't do that. Do not do that. My college essays for my application, it took me like 30 minutes to write them. I did no revision and I just turned them in. Like that's all I did. And I was like, I had no idea why I did that. I just didn't have any motivation, and I cannot stress it enough. Please do not slack your senior year. Like it's probably the most important. So I slacked on everything. I turned in my college application the last day. I turned in my FAFSA the last day. I missed my SAT score turn in, and then I cried about it because I thought I was going to go to college. So I had to pull a lot of strings and email a lot of the universities if I could turn in my SAT scores late, which thank God they let me. And so I just had an extremely like just stressful senior year because I slacked a lot, like more than I should have. So don't slack. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I'm proud to say that I got into the majority of the universities that I applied to. I did get the free application status, so I applied to all the free. I basically applied to every university that I could for free. So I got into UC Irvine, I got into UC Santa Barbara, I got into UC Riverside with the honors. So I was allowed to take honors at UC Riverside. I got into Fullerton, Pomona, Humboldt, CSUN. Basically, I got rejected from UCLA and SDSU. So those are the only 2 that I got rejected from. And I did apply with a impacted major. So as juniors, it's important to know like which universities that you're applying to that do have an impacted major, because that just lowers the acceptance for you. Like it makes it harder to get into the university because everyone is applying with that major. So it's way harder to get in. So I'm even surprised I got into like a UC, which I'm really proud of. And I wasn't planning on going to a UC because my family couldn't afford it. Me personally, my mom didn't go to, she didn't even go to high school, and she's a single mother. So I am a first generation for everything, for graduating high school, going to college. So I didn't think we had enough to go to, I didn't think I had enough money to go to a UC, but turns out they're paying for almost everything. For me personally, I only have to pay maybe like $1,000 to go to UC. I'm going to UC Santa Barbara. Forgot to mention that. I'm only paying $1,000 to go there, which is like amazing because it's like $37,000 to go. So definitely, I feel like working my butt off in okay, so your sophomore and your junior year are your most important years. They're all important, but those are what they tend to look at the most, and those are what I tend to excel in. And then something I'm not proud of with, as well as my SAT score, I think I got like a 980. I do not do well with testing at all. So that was embarrassing that like a sophomore is like, I got 1150, and I was like, I got a 980, like, oh my God. So I was embarrassed with that. I was like, I'm not getting into a university. But I feel like with everything else that I did, I had 300 hours of community service and everything else. So I feel like don't stress over a certain thing such as like SATs. Also, it is important, but there's also things that they look at. The application process is completely random. Where you get accepted, they don't, like, I got accepted into a university that has a lower acceptance rate, and then I got it denied from a university that has like a 52% acceptance rate. So it's completely random. On what they're looking for. They could be looking at your SAT scores, but they could also be looking at your extracurriculars and your classes and all that other stuff. So just make sure that you're well-rounded in everything, that you kind of do a little bit of everything, and you guys should be solid for college. Yeah, that's all I got. Go Bianca, take it away.
Okay, well, I hope this is working now. I'm sorry about before. All right, but anyways, my name is Bianca. I'm 18. I want to give you guys first a little background about what I did, like before I even got to high school, because I feel like that helps explain like my whole application process. So when I was younger, I was born in LA, and we weren't really like the most well off. Like, we moved around a lot. It was me, my mom, and 4 kids, so it was just us. We moved around a lot, and I bounced around to a lot of different schools when I was younger. And I feel like that, I don't know, it kind of discouraged me a lot, because I was like, well, I guess this is what I have to do. Like, I guess I have to go to school. I guess I have to do good in school. Like, a part of me kind of didn't care, kind of did. But anyways, when I finally got to be my freshman year in high school, I didn't start at Palmdale High School. I went to another school. And my freshman year, I found myself, me and my family were homeless. So with us being homeless, it really discouraged me a lot. It was like, I really don't even care anymore. It was like, whatever happens, happens. I took basic classes. I didn't take any. I think I took 1 honors, and that was because I think I got accidentally put in that class my freshman year. So it was just like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. And I had 0 motivation for anything. And I don't think motivation really came until like my sophomore year at Palmdale, and I was like, I don't even know how to describe it. I was just like, I have to do something. I saw the way my mom struggled with us. I saw the way parts of my family struggled, and I was like, I gotta do better. I gotta do better. So what I did, I started playing basketball. I got more involved in like a church out here in Palmdale. I volunteered anywhere I could. I got involved with the BSU at our school, and I started doing better. I started gaining more motivation, got more excited about school, in college. And then when junior year came around, it was like I had to apply everywhere. I applied to like, how many schools? I applied to 16 different schools. And some people were like, well, that was a lot. I was like, well, it actually wasn't, because I wrote 5 essays, and the essays pretty much were generic. They were like what I did for extracurricular, what I did like about me, family life, all that. And I pretty much submitted it for all of those different schools. So it wasn't like I really struggled with the application process, because I had it all planned out. And that's what I feel like you guys should do. Like, don't procrastinate on it. Be efficient when you're planning. Don't just type up anything. Like, start early. Like, you should start writing your essays the summer before senior year, because then you won't have to stress about it, and you can get it done a lot quicker and easier. And when it comes to applying, don't be afraid of like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna get into this school because their acceptance rate is small. Because when I was applying, I didn't think I was gonna get into UCLA. I didn't think I was gonna get hard enough. I didn't think I would fit in with those kids. For me to be in the position I am, I never thought I would, because I've just doubted myself the whole way. And you cannot do that if you're really gonna make it. Like, what I was always taught, it was like, apply to 3 schools: one you know you're gonna get into, one you think you can get into, and one you have no idea you're gonna get into. Because what's the worst they can say? No. And you can just keep going and build yourself off of that. What else can I say? Just don't procrastinate, stay focused, and you guys will be fine.
Okay, hi guys. So I'm gonna start off with the grades that I had. So freshman year, I entered school like not knowing anything. I took like a couple honors classes but no AP. And then ever since like my freshman year, I got A's. And then I slowly started to realize how important like school was. So I started taking more like honors and AP classes to get a better GPA and to start learning more stuff because I was unsure of what I wanted to do with my life. And I thought just by taking different classes, I would find something that would spark my interest. And so for me, like taking these AP classes and honor classes was a bit easy for me because I was like known for being like an organized person. So if I like had like homework, I would balance everything out. And I just like doing homework. Like I was like a fan of school. But then slowly, like junior and senior year, it started to getting like repetitive where I started like not slacking off, but it was just starting to get like boring. And so I decided to do like other things. So like I started joining clubs and sports. And so for sports, I only did golf, but it was like a fun experience because I got to play with my friends and I got to like have two cool coaches like Coach McCullough and Coach D. And so that was fun. Um, and I'm not like an athletic person, so just doing that was like another thing that kept me motivated to continue school. Then I also started doing clubs because I wanted to be more involved because when I joined like high school, I was known for being kind of shy. Like I didn't like talking to no one. I was um I was quiet. It's just because like it was a new environment. So I was like, oh, I just gotta adjust. And so I met new people, met new friends, and then I started becoming more like social and I started getting out there. And so that happened. And then for grades wise, like taking tests, I'm not the smartest either. Like my SATs and my ACT scores were pretty low. I was like in the 900s as well. And so I feel like that was one of the hardest thing I had to deal with because like I was like good at taking these AP classes and everything, but not good at passing the tests. And so it was like really hard to just um put that on the application. And then it's just yeah. Um the colleges I applied to, so I didn't qualify for a fee waiver because my parents made a little bit over the number that it was set. And so I didn't get a fee waiver, so I wasn't able to apply to like a whole bunch of UCs and Cal States. And so the only schools that I applied to was GCU because it was free. Um, I applied to CSUN, UCI, UCLA, and UC Merced. And for UC Merced and CSUN, I got accepted, but for UCI, I got waitlisted, and UCLA, I got denied. And so with that, I knew that it was kind of like a setback. But just like going through my options, I decided that I was gonna attend CSUN because it just meant that it would be like financial wise, it'd be like cheaper to go there and I'll be more comfortable because I'll be staying with my family. Um, what I decided to do, I first chose it as business management, but I only chose that major because I was just like lazy and I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I didn't want to put undecided. So I just chose business and management. But then I started doing a little bit more research on what I really wanted to do, and I switched my major to CSI, and I'm also gonna double major in psychology. So I'm gonna do two for those 4 years. And I feel much more comfortable with my decision because I feel like it's something I'm actually interested in instead of choosing something that I wasn't just because I didn't want to write down undeclared. Um, my dream college was UCLA, but it's okay. Like sometimes you do apply and you're gonna get rejected. You shouldn't let that like affect you. It's just like a no. But just be happy that you will be able to attend like a university or a college or something because many other people don't have that opportunity due to financial issues and stuff like that. So I'm excited that I still have the opportunity to continue my education. What I'm gonna do with CSUN, I'm gonna be commuting where it's like carpooling, where I'm gonna carpool with some of my friends and then be able to drive through there instead of staying on campus. So I will save money on paying the housing fee. I wouldn't have to do that. And then that's all I have, to be honest. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Ramiro Gomez, and I'll I'm gonna go back to elementary school where I was in lit support. I was bad with language, with grammar, with writing, with everything. I wasn't there. So I was in lit support, and something that's very important to me is education. And I grew up with my parents making me read, even though I hated reading. They made me read 30 minutes a day, picked a random book, and they locked me in a room and made me read. So I'm not complaining. I'm happy because of that. I was able to grow from that. And sixth grade, I was in the most lowest class. I took a placement exam. And I got the lowest score. The SRIs or those tests, I had 300s. Those were my scores, and it disappointed my parents. They literally walked out of the orientation and just went home. So I was like, damn, you know. So I didn't like that. So even though I was in below basic classes, I fought hard. Seventh grade, I went a little bit up. I went to read 180, so that was helping me a lot. I took the resources that were given to me, and eventually in eighth grade, I was taking honor classes. I was with the smart people, so I was like, okay, okay. But then I moved to a different city. So I used to live in the valley. So all that happened in the valley. But then 2 weeks before my freshman year started at Palm High School, I moved. And that was a completely different environment. I knew nobody. I ate lunch by myself behind a classroom, behind the dark halls. And that was basically my life until I started joining things. I joined the Health Careers Academy and I joined band. I lead the band. It's my third year leading the band. So join band. Anyway, I applied to 30 colleges. Now, you're saying, how did you apply to 30 colleges? Well, let me tell you. Something that I wasn't told that I had to figure out by myself is that you could apply. Well, if you qualify for the financial the waiver, you basically could apply to any private colleges you want. There's I don't know the max, maybe it's 25 or 20, but if you go to college the the common application, you're able to apply to a lot of colleges. Just make sure you request a fee waiver and you're able to apply to as much as much college private colleges that you want. So I applied and I got accepted into 14 colleges, waitlisted for two, and rejected by 14. And honestly gave up on myself. Once I was getting rejections from top tiers, I was like, I'm not gonna make it. So then they came, you know, I got accepted into USC, and I was like, girl, how? My SAT score. Now here, if you have an SAT score, don't worry about it. My SAT score, I took it 3 times. My first one was a 1050, okay? And then my second one, it went down. It went to a 980. Then my third one went to a 920. So if I can make it, you could make it. Now again, for classes, I didn't really take as much AP classes, but I did take a lot of classes. Senior year, I'm actually taking 14 classes, and I'm doing dual enrollment with Antelope Valley College. You is to do dual enrollment. Sign up now. Basically, get all the application, sign it, and then email it to them. Register for a class. Boom, you're set. And I took 2 classes. I'm taking a class right now, and I feel like all that I've been doing has prepared me for basically what I'm doing now. And although you guys are juniors, if you know anybody who's a ninth grader or 10th grader, I recommend you to tell them to apply to a program called USC Boulevard Scholars, which is something that I did during my summer of junior year. And that's basically what helped me believe in myself even more. I was connected with the coach. She helped me throughout the application process. I really give up on all my applications. I was signing them so confidently, and then out of nowhere, boom, it hit. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to make it. So that was a constant battle that I did. I just kept going, and I remember the reason why I'm starting. And I I'm in a lot of at school, but it doesn't matter how much you are in. What matters is what you do with it. So always remember that. If you're just in one club, that's really cool. That's as much as that's literally all you need to get into a top tier. But what are you going to do with it? What are you doing like about it? Are you doing something for the community? And basically that's basically it. And you're going to learn more now. After me, you're going to learn about the expectations and realities of applying to college, the pros and cons, the financial aid. Ooh, USC is expensive. I know y'all heard that if your parents make under 80K, you go for you don't. The tuition is $80,000. They're covering tuition, yeah, but room and board and dining, I, I I took out loans, so we'll talk about that though. So later, and we're gonna get started with expectations and realities. So Maria and Jasmine.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Maria again. So an expectation I had about applying to colleges was how I was gonna write my essays. I kept like kind of putting it off. I was like, oh, I'll write my essay like tomorrow night. Like I can write about my life. It's not that hard. And then once you get to like your Google Doc, you're like, okay, let's write about my life. Literally your mind goes blank because you have so much to write down, but you don't know how to really express it. And you can be the best English writer out there, and it's still like, what point of your life are you gonna highlight to make the mission officers want to accept you? So I think definitely you guys need to like start kind of looking at the prompts from this year's, like, or well, I guess last year's like mission prompts and see what they are, because they're most likely going to be the same. There might be a few differences, but just start getting ideas. Write down what point in your life did you think that, what point in your life made you like want to go to school or change yourself. Jasmine.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I have a little tiny little bulletin thing I created because I'm gonna go over some mistakes that I made. My expectation is you write your essay, and then you apply, and that's it. You get into college. That's it. That's all you do. You do it. Like Maria said, the essays I procrastinated until. You guys hear that sound? Anyways, so I procrastinated literally. I think the applications were due like the 30th, 31st, or something like that. And I feel like I want to, talk about my hardships. I want to talk about my accomplishments. So I kind of did like a little bit of everything. I feel like I wrote down what made me me. And then I don't know if you guys should do this, because I did it because I don't take anything seriously. I put some jokes inside of my essay. I put some funny jokes inside of my essay. Like I was just like I was like, oh, like I did this to prepare for college, and I'm going in as a pre-med major, and I was like, and I think my rigorous training from Grey's Anatomy. So I kind of just doing some stupid stuff. I don't know if you should do that. I don't know if they like that or not, but they accepted me, so I guess they liked it. I guess I just show your personality a little bit. You want something to like. They want, when you read their essay, you want to be remembered. So I'm pretty sure they remember me as like the Grey's Anatomy girl, so throw some personality into your essays. And what else? There's a lot of deadlines you have to keep up with, a lot. So check a lot of deadlines. And then apply for all of the scholarships. So when you are applying to college, always apply to the scholarships that are available to you. There's a ton. I got to apply for a scholarship because my mom was a single mother. So there's a bunch that you get to apply to in the application process. Always click on all of them that apply to you, and then you're automatically you automatically apply to those scholarships. And then getting in to your university, there's a bunch of pre-fees. You pay for the application, but you also have to pay the $250 enrollment fee. I know there's some universities that don't do it, but a lot of them do. A majority of them do. So just to say that you already got accepted, but just to say that you want to go to the university, you have to pay $250, and then you have to pay another $330 for what is it called, orientation. Which sucks. And these are a bunch of pre-fees. And then luckily myself, they didn't charge me for the room and board fee, but you also do have to pay another like $200 for the room and board fee. So there's a bunch of fees that you do have to, so save up. College is expensive, save up. And it's also, one last thing is it's okay to not know what you're doing. It is absolutely okay to not know what you're going to do in college, what major you're going to do. It is okay. Like I was so scared. I was like, everyone knows what they're doing. Like I have no idea what major am I going to choose. Like I have no idea whatsoever. So I just chose something that I felt strongly about, and something that I kind of had an idea, but I had no idea where I was going to take it. I kind of applied with that. I was gonna say crap. There's a lot of seniors that applied undeclared. It's okay to not know what you're doing. I feel like an expectation is like, oh, you go in like with a major, you know what you're gonna do. It's not like that. You have no idea what you're gonna do most of the time. So it's okay to not know. And that's it.
I'm just gonna add something real quick. A lot of like expectations, like once you get denied from that college, you're never like there's no other chance of getting into it. But there's many different options. You can always transfer. Different schools have transfer plans. So for me, I'm in the USC and the UCLA transfer plan. So just if you get denied from your top schools, definitely look into like transfer plans, or look into if they have appeals. Let's say you submit your application and then you get denied, but between that time you did something like life-changing. You can always tell your mission officers that, and their decision might change.
Okay, so Darcy and me are going to talk to you about the pros and cons of our experiences. So for me, I think my best pro was just having my parents that supported whatever I wanted to do and wherever I wanted to go. Because I'm going to GCU, that's in Arizona. And at first, my dad, he was like, no, you're not going, you're not allowed to go, that's out of state. What's gonna happen if something happens to you and I can't get there really quick, stuff like that. But in the end, he actually supported me the most. And yeah, that would be the best pro. But the number one con I would say is that I did not apply to colleges just because I thought that I wouldn't get in. And as you can see, a few of the panelists were talking about how they never thought they would have gotten into one of these colleges, and they did end up getting into them. So that when I finished the application, I for sure felt like I sabotaged everything, that I messed everything up for myself because I didn't apply. Because I'm actually pretty smart. I have a good SAT at 1220. I took AP. My GPA was a 4.3. I played soccer all 4 years. I'm captain for 3 years. I was in HCA. I have a lot of stuff, and I didn't think I would get it. But that is my biggest regret. Another con was obviously not having and my parents didn't really know about all of this stuff, so I was kind of on my own for a few things, but I definitely had the help from my AVID teachers, my counselors, and everybody that was there. So the best thing you could do is use what you have around you, and definitely make note of everything that could help you in the future. Go ahead, Darcy.
Okay, so the pros that I have are first season when I applied, the process when you accept or deny the application, for me, they didn't charge me the fee to commit to the university. So I thought that was really awesome, because I was like, this is free. So I was like, I don't gotta worry about paying for that part. The cool thing is saving money. So if you decide to commute, to drive over there instead of living on campus, you're gonna save a lot of money with just not paying the room expenses. The season also has many programs that offer two majors. So if you do more research, you can knock down two majors within the 4 years. Also, ABC does work with CSUN, so you can do your, like, I plan to do college classes during the summer, and then those will also count towards my credits for CSUN. I also got accepted into the honors program, so I have a 6.7 GPA, and so I was accepted for CSUN's honors program. So it means that I could take these other classes as well. And the only con is that because of the pandemic, all of our classes are going to be like online, and I'm not like an online person, but it's like it's going to be like a struggle trying to find like some motivation to just like do the homework like at home and stuff. So that should be interesting, but that's the only like con I could think of right now. But that's all I have. Yeah.
Alrighty. So then I'm just going to start quickly talking about financial aid. So financial aid is basically how much money you're going to get. So you will be applying for FAFSA or the DREAM Act if you are undocumented or have DACA. So make sure you do apply for that. And I recommend you to do it way before the deadline. I applied for it, I would say October when it came out. I did it as soon as possible. And that for me helped me limit my mistakes. So when it was time for the colleges to release the financial aid packages, I was getting them okay. So for example, when I said USC was expensive, it was really expensive. My first financial aid package from them, they were asking a lot for the parent contribution, which I've never seen that much money in my life. So I appealed. Now, what an appeal for financial aid is, you basically write a letter explaining why you're poor. That's basically what you do. You make sure you provide documents saying if you're in debt or if you are like spending money on medical expenses or something. You just need to be honest with them. Don't make it like, oh, my family. No, you just tell them, I am this, I need this, I want this. Just it's basically them to understand basically how they can help you more. So because of that appeal, I basically everything dropped down. So when I talk about the loan is $5,500, but it's not impossible to pay off because USC is a private institution. They really throw money at you as you basically move on through years, and that's why I like private institute. That's why I wanted to go to a private institution. I'm not really okay with public institutions. I don't know, but I just feel more comfortable and more confident that I will succeed at a private institution. So I invested in my future. I took out those loans, and the best part though is that my parents aren't contributing anything. It's all on me. So it's not going to be under name. They're not going to be affected. And that's just honestly more encouragement for me because it's going to make me want to fight for something more. I have a purpose to do. I have to finish the college because I need to pay that off. But scholarships, there's a lot of scholarships, and although you might not get scholarships, keep applying. You never know. It's really hit or miss. It's it's hard, but there's this scholarship called QuestBridge that you should all apply for. QuestBridge basically matches you with the top tier and basically gives you a full ride scholarship, and that's something that y'all should look into. And yeah, that's basic for mine. Appeal if the financial contribution isn't where you are able to give. Appeal, make them give you more money. They possibly can. But out of all the colleges that I got accepted to, honestly, USC gave me the best financial package. Pepperdine was asking for 10K. I'm like, mm-mm. But yeah, now Samuel's going to be talking to you about more financial aid, and then he's going to be talking about selective services. And afterwards, we're going to have a Q&A. So if you could start commenting your questions down, that would be great. So Samuel, take it away.
Okay, so for starters, there's selective services. I don't know. This is only for males though. As soon as you turn 18, you're required by the Department of Education to fill out to be registered for selective services in order to get financial aid. So if you have to be between 18 and 25, and this is important because this is for you to be able to receive financial aid. I didn't know this until I got a letter back from Fresno saying that I needed to sign up for it in order for me to receive my financial aid. So I had to sign up for it, and it takes about 2 months for everything to get processed. So it's important that you guys, as soon as you turn 18, to register for it. I believe that FAFSA, and this is all for guys, this is only for males. If I believe FAFSA on question 22, it actually, you could choose for them to register for you. But on the DREAM Act application, I believe that you're not allowed they don't apply for you. So you have to go into the website and do the application process. And then like Ray was saying, there's Ray and Jasmine application. There's what is it? There's scholarships for anything. I'm left-handed, so there's a scholarship for left-handed people, for colored eyes. They have it for anything. So just apply, and that way it'll be easier to pay off college. I think that's about it.
Awesome. So if you guys could start commenting down your questions, Mr. Frake will start picking the questions and basically asking us.
Okay, so I've got one. It is, what is dual enrollment and what is the Common App? And how do I make this go away? So I think Darcy, you were talking about dual enrollment, so I'll let you answer that question.
I was touching about it, but it's fine.
Oh, then
yeah,
maybe,
no problem.
oh, my bad.
So dual enrollment is basically when you're in high school, but you're taking college classes at the community college. And the Common App is basically like the USC application portal and the CSU portal. The Common App is specifically for private colleges. So basically you would make a Common App account, search out the private college you want to go to, download their application and fill it out there, submit it through the Common App, and that's basically it. Next question.
Okay, so by the way, I said dual enrollment and they wrote dual enrollment. I was thinking double major, so my bad. Okay. Adrian asked, what are some good sites to find scholarships? And I'm gonna let anyone jump on who has a good idea for that.
Okay, so a really good site for scholarships, and I'm gonna sound like Mr. Hunt, but Naviance, when you guys become seniors, if you go to Naviance, like there's a section called scholarships and money, and then there's scholarships for like AV only, so it's like not easier to get to, well yeah, it's like kind of easier to get a scholarship. There's multiple. If you go on Facebook, I know this sounds weird, but search up Antelope Valley Scholarship and you will find like people talking about scholarships they made and that like they want people to apply for. FastWeb, you know, the basic like scholarship websites. But yeah, just check out for Naviance because there is a lot of like scholarships that are just for AV locals.
Cool. I also got, are there any?
Another place where you can get scholarships is College Board, because I actually got SAT. So make sure you actually do those.
And also, the universities that you apply to, not only on the application, offer scholarships, as well as when you do get accepted, they also offer other scholarships to apply for. So they send you the scholarships personally, like, okay, you have this deadline to apply for. And so the universities actually send you scholarships as well, like the ones that you apply to. So that's another way to get a hold of some scholarships.
Another thing, I don't know about UCs, but I know for Cal State's, at least Cal State Fullerton, a lot of them have presidential like programs. And what that means is you get your 4 years paid, you get books paid, everything's paid for. Usually applications start like the beginning of your senior year. So if you kind of have an idea of what school you want to go to, I would start looking up those kind of programs and scholarships too.
And if you don't get any scholarships, don't stress. Talk to the financial aid office and they will help you.
Okay. And then just to piggyback on that, a lot of times your department, like if you're whatever major you are is going to have that department, they might also have some scholarships as well. So talk to, you know, the dean of art or the dean of whatever you're getting. So Rachel asks, are there any fees or killing me? What are there any fees or requirements that we should be aware of if we are trying to apply out of state? maybe Grand Canyon? What
So,
was that?
oh, Bianca, I'll let you go.
Okay, because I applied to like a bunch of out-of-state schools, so pretty much like it really depends on the college, because I applied to a lot of HBCUs and they didn't really have like a fee for me when since I was applying out of state. And then some out-of-state schools, like, well, okay, this is for like HBCUs, but like their tuition was the same even though I was coming out of state. So like you just have to, like, I guess, be vigilant and watch out, because it won't be much, and depending on how much you make, you can actually have those fees waived. So
And to add to that, if you use the Common App and you apply for out of state and you qualify for free reduced lunch at school or the fee waivers, you don't pay any fees to apply out of state. In fact, I have a few friends who are going out of state. Um, Requirements, not really, unless it's like out of the nation, then probably some like immunizations or things like that. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. The only thing that will cost a little bit more is basically the transportation. Um, but then again, if you're applying to top tiers like Ivy Leagues, they will help you, especially if you're low socioeconomic, if you're like low income, they will help you. They will fly you out, and that again, there are free fly-in programs out of state. So if you Google like a fly-in program at whatever college out of state, there will be programs that basically you apply for, you write a little paragraph why you want to go, and if they pick you, which a lot of people get chosen, they will fly you out for free and basically give you the tour of campus. So look into find.
So just to talk about that, JCU actually does have a fly-in program, and you get to go for free if you're looking to attend. It's called Discover GCU, and their tuition has stayed the same. There's no out-of-state fees, and there's no extra fee for applying because it's a free application.
Okay, I've got about the timeline to financial aid packages come after you are accepted to the college, right or no? And then how would you deny a college you're not interested in? I'll let anybody jump on.
They come after. So once you get accepted, they usually have the package there with you, or they have it at the portal. And if not, you wait a while and then they'll send it. For example, for me, I got accepted on the 26th of March. I didn't get my financial aid package until the middle of April. And from there, it takes time to appeal. And the second part of the question, which is,
It's about how do you deny a college you're not interested in?
so some colleges have an accept or decline. So basically, when you're accepting a college, they have the option of decline. So you will go to the portal and you just click deny, and then they'll give you a little survey that asks you where you're gonna go, what are your plans, and that's basically it. But if the colleges don't have any of that, I would just email the advisor, which is what I done. I email the advisor or I text message them or something, and they're like cool about it. They're like, okay, that's basically it. So it's very easy. But I applied to 30 colleges. It got a bit overwhelming. I forgot where I even applied. So be careful.
Yeah, another thing is most schools, I don't really know any school that doesn't do this. They will have like a financial aid calculator. So they use like information from last year or something, and you can put in your information and it'll tell you how much your financial aid package is. And usually for most schools, because it's happened to me, they will on your student portal, like it'll show how much the school costs in total, but it's not your financial aid package. So don't freak out, because it's most likely just a basic number but doesn't have any meaning towards it.
Okay. Just two more quick ones, it looks like. Is there anything we should consider if applying particularly to out-of-state colleges, aside from out-of-state fees, obviously, but so what would you consider for that? And then I've got, what is the price range for application fees? I'm blown away by the amount of applications you sent in. I think I did 3. So you guys are rocking and rolling. So what is the price range for application fees for in-state? And that'll wrap it up.
So with the, I'm gonna go to the application one because I have no idea about the out-of-state. I didn't apply any out-of-state. But for the applications, a lot of you probably qualify for the like the free applications. So you'll get four free applications for Cal States and then 4 free for UCs. But if you don't, I know that I paid $75 for one application because I wanted to apply to an extra school. I applied to 2 extra schools, so I paid $140. It ranges from around there, but those are only for like the bigger schools, like the UCs and around and Cal States around that. But a lot of universities I applied to, the applications were free. So there are a lot of free applications, but if you were looking to apply to like a Cal State or a UC, they do average around 70. So I know people that pay like $600 to $700 when applying to universities. It is a pricey price, but I feel like it is worth it because it is your future and it is a university. And if you're looking to go there, I feel like it is worth paying $70.
I have something to mention real quick. If for example you don't get the application, like the fee waiver, you don't qualify, College Board, if you qualify for your SATs, like for free for College Board, they send you 4 free waivers that you can use to any school that you want to apply to in-state. And so if you didn't, like for me, I used one of those to UC Merced and it works. So you just have to print it out, fill it out, and then email it and fax it to the school you want to go to. And they'll cover the cost and everything. The fee will just go away.
Another thing I would like to add, so my parents' income from 2018 to now is different. Like we lost a lot of money. So I just had to email each school that I applied to and show them like the tax form like from this year. I don't remember what I did. And then they just gave me like a code that you would use. So when you like apply for like Cal States, there's like this area that says coupon code and you just apply it there. So if your financial aid has changed, you can appeal your application fees.
Yes, your taxes are going to be so important. They're going to be so important. So keep them and hold them on because you're not gonna just use them once. You're gonna use them a lot because the colleges will ask you for more information aside from passing. So.
Bianca, were you going to jump in there real quick?
Okay. Yeah, this is the one thing I want to say. Don't be afraid to like email some of the advisors from these colleges because they can really help you. Like say if you can't get an application fee, if you can't get it from College Board or you just were denied, if you email some of the advisors, they can actually like personally help you and they'll be like, oh, I'll waive it for you online. Like if you ask people, then you'll get what you're looking for. Because I had to do that with some colleges. Like I was like, how come I didn't qualify for this one scholarship? I really should have. And then she was like, oh, no problem, I'll just go through, I'll help you out. So be in touch with some of these advisors because they're just sitting waiting to help you.
To answer the out-of-state question, what you need to look for when you're applying to out-of-state colleges, you have to look for how you will personally feel when you go out there. Because I know like I said before, I'm a very emotional person. I'm very connected to my family. So thinking about going to Arizona, when I was in my junior year, I never would have thought I would go. And now what I mainly think about is I'm going out there to get an education. I'm going out there because it is my choice to go to an institution that will have my major and that will provide me with everything I need. And I will still feel safe. I will feel like I'm in a homey area and I will feel that I am able to succeed there. So basically the thing for me is just saying that I'm going for an education and I'm not going for like parties out there. I'm not going for like something crazy. And that's basically it when you look for out of state.
And to end it, because we are AVID, please use your AVID teachers. They are very intelligent and they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They've experienced it. So please use them as resources. They will help you. They're there for you. That's basically what I have to say.
Okay, this is gonna be a little cheesy, but we decided to do it. Number is Mr. Frake's class. We'll get a start. I have your number, so I'll just text you.
Thank you.
Wait, I missed that. What am I doing? Y'all froze up on me for a second. Do I have to do anything?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Never mind.
Wait, what is your classroom?
What is my classroom number?
Yeah, the number.
504.
Yeah, 504.
Hold up. Okay. Taylor got it wrong.
Taylor, to answer your question, so you have to talk to your recruiter, but I know when I talk to a recruiter, like the military has its own university or something, so you can totally do that, and you can, and there, a lot of university has programs for veterans. Thank you.
Oh, just
So I
one more.
should just talk to my recruiter.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, just one more quick thing. If you feel like you didn't apply to too many colleges, there are colleges that extend their applications all the way until like March, April. I literally got an email from Cal Lutheran right now saying that they're still accepting applications. So, and they're free. A lot of them are free. A lot of them are free. So if you feel like, oh, I didn't apply to enough, there's still time to apply. Like I applied to Humboldt in February, got accepted. So there's always time to apply. Okay, don't feel like you missed out.
And one last thing, if you want me to read your applications, want me to go over them, want me to read your personal statements, I got you, okay? I literally have nothing to do. I'm just kidding, but I got you, okay? So add me on Instagram, RAYMROGOMEZ, and I will edit your thingies. Okay, bye.
Okay, well, thanks all for joining. How about, I got a question about how to contact you guys. My email, if you guys want to send me your contact info, is rfrakes@avhsd.org. So if you want to send me your contact info, I will post that somewhere, and these lovely people can hunt you down.
Yes, we're always here to help. We went through it. We went through the struggles. We made the mistakes. We're here to help, and we're here to help you guys. So yeah, if you guys need the help, I'll give them my email.
Not alone.
Yeah.
The help is
in it together. All right. Well, I appreciate you seniors for your time, and seriously, I know that your teachers have spoken really highly about you guys, and you guys literally are the reasons why teachers teach. And juniors, I will say the same nice thing about you next year. But so thank you for making the effort worth it, because this is why we're here. So appreciate that. Good luck with your future endeavors, and juniors, good luck next year starting your future endeavors. And stay safe out there. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.